Explosions lit up Israel's night sky as interceptors took down dozens upon dozens of Iranian-launched drones. Israel's military spokesman said the nation's defense systems detected incoming drones, cruise missiles, and ballistic missiles launched from Iran and its proxies.
Together with our allies and partners across the region, we are operating at this very moment to defend Israel from Iran's attack. So far, we have intercepted the vast majority of incoming missiles by Israeli systems.
The damage to Israel was far less than had been feared. Israeli officials said one child was hurt and a military base suffered minor damage. And U.S. President Joe Biden cut short a trip to Delaware, rushing back to the White House to meet with his National Security Council. In a statement, Biden said U.S. forces helped Israel take down nearly all the incoming drones and missiles. And Biden spoke with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu by phone, affirming the U.S.'s ironclad support.
Iran's message to the United States: do not get involved.
Mr. President, to Iran in this moment.
Don't.
Then CNN's MJ Lee asked President Biden this.
Mr. President, are American troops at risk as well?
We are devoted to the defense of Israel. We will support Israel. We will help defend Israel. And Iran will not succeed.
Iran looks at the Biden administration and sees complete and total weakness. So they believe that when Biden says don't, just look how Iran thumbed their nose at President Biden. And they proceeded with this, whether it was performative or whether it was deliberate, over 300 attack objects headed from Iran into Israel in the middle of the night. By the way, leaving a Saturday night, leaving the staff preparing into Passover, so much for the truce during the holidays. That action happening was testing whether Biden's don't was to Iran or whether it was to Israel. And they put a bet that when Biden says don't, he's talking to Israel, just like all of the don'ts in the last 6 weeks have been about Israel and not about Hamas.
Well, that video is from Iran last week. Protesters in Tehran chanting "Death to America." And now we're seeing that chilling anti-American sentiment here at home in America. Pro-Palestinian demonstrators chanting "Death to America, Death to Israel" at a rally, not in Tehran, but in Michigan, Dearborn, Michigan, to be exact. A city that the Wall Street Journal has already branded as the jihad capital of the U.S. A protester there attacking America for supporting Israel and then quoting Malcolm X, saying that the U.S. is, quote, one of the rottenest countries that has ever existed on this earth.
Malcolm X said, and I quote, "We live in one of the rottenest countries that has ever existed on this earth." It's not Genocide Joe that has to go. It's the entire system that has to go. Any system that would allow such atrocities and such devilry to happen and would support it, such a system does not deserve to exist on God's earth.
One protester said it's not Genocide Joe that has to go. It's the entire system that has to go.
Well, if you don't like America and you want death to America, why are you in America? Why are you here in this country if you're going to chant things like that? This country is a wonderful country, has given us all amazing jobs. Our dreams have come true because of this country. I think October 7th was one of the saddest moments in history for all of us. We all had nightmares about it. Everyone at home did. We had to watch videos and hear things about babies in ovens, things that we want to erase. Yeah. It was really hard. I think that Joe Biden is now, because he's watching all these uncommitted votes, I think he's abandoning Israel now. And I think that he cares more about these votes than he does on the war on terror. We had a family who their son is one of the hostages. Don't forget, they said. Always when you talk about this war, talk about the hostages, 133 of them. There was a ceasefire on October 6th. October 7th, Hamas changed all of that. This is what war looks like. It's sad when innocent people die, but I would hope America would do the same thing that Israel did if it happened here.
Iran has launched a direct attack from Iranian soil towards the state of Israel. This is a severe and dangerous escalation. Our defensive and offensive capabilities are at the highest level of readiness.
And by the end of the assault, Israel had managed to fend off most of them. Iran's supreme leader said of Israel, the evil regime must be punished for its airstrike on Iran's consulate in Syria, which killed several military officials. And officials say tonight's response appeared to be targeting Israeli military assets.
The U.S. has made it clear that they will do whatever they can to help Israel in this attack, but Iran has also said that if the U.S. helped Israel in this attack, that U.S. troops in the region would become fair game. And so the world has gotten very dangerous tonight, not only for Israel, but for the U.S. as well.
American forces in the Middle East are quite literally caught in the crossfire. There is no other way to think about this story as we are on the eve of a potential regional war in the Middle East. That if you have a son, a daughter, parent, spouse who wears the American military uniform, tonight is a scary night. If they happen to be stationed here in the Middle East, it is a sleepless night.
As the conflict between Iran and Israel continues to escalate, concern in the Jewish community here in L.A. for their loved ones abroad continues to grow as well.
It's a massive act of war by Iran directly against the state of Israel. For the folks who live in the L.A. area, it's also intensely personal. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of families.
Rabbi Abraham Cooper of the Simon Wiesenthal Center is scheduled to fly to Israel on Sunday to see his family if the flight takes off. Israel has shut down the airspace due to the danger. U.S. officials say the lengthy coordinated attack is coming from inside Iran as well as Iraq, Syria, and southern Lebanon. The targets appear to be 3 military bases, but Rabbi Cooper says the message may be much wider.
What just happened to Israel, that attack, is also a message from Iran to every single one of the Arab countries in the area. If we can do this to Israel, you better sort of all go in line.
Hundreds of missiles have been fired, most of them intercepted, some by U.S. forces. President Biden pledging his full support of Israel.
This is an unprecedented direct attack by Iran, not just its proxies on Israel and on allied forces in the region. I say allied because America is very much involved in this.
The U.S. military increasing its presence in the Middle East, moving additional troops, ships, and aircraft into the area. What Israel's response will be to the attack remains to be seen. The impact could be far-reaching.
The big concern is that this will trigger a wider war in the region, that Israel will retaliate against Iran directly, increasing hostilities to an all-out direct traditional confrontation between two militaries.